Well, I set up the first Be Very Afraid event a long way back. An official in the Whitehall Department of Education said to me, "Stephen, I'm not entirely sure what children are doing with technology, and we've spent a lot of money on it." So I said I'd better get a few kids in and show you. And I brought them in, and I said, "David, what do you think?" And he said, "Terrifying, my boy, terrifying." So I thought it was a very good thing for civil servants to be scared a little. So all around the world we've been running Be Very Afraid events so people can just see just what children are doing today with technology in the classrooms. And the events have been interesting because each event is indicative of what most children will be doing in 2 years' time and exceptional children are doing today. So they've been nice little markers for the future, really.
Teaching any student to do anything early obviously has huge benefits. Their computer science, there was a lack of awareness that it exists, particularly in a secondary school level. So exposing them to the opportunities early on will allow them to develop these soft skills. The computational thinking allows them to solve problems in many different subjects, not just computer science, but when they're tackled maths problems or in English, and just generally problem solving and logical thinking skills, which will help them in any career path they are likely to do.
Well, this is the coding for a maze, an ant maze. Use arrow keys to control and red equals die, gold equals win. So you use the arrow keys and you've got lives when you touch it, and if it goes to 0 it will restart the whole thing.
1, 2, go. We are programming them so that they will move to different places on the map. 1, 2, go.
These guys need to be ready for a marketplace and for jobs that we know aren't created yet. So it's important that they are at the cutting edge. These children are showing us what to do today, and I don't think that teachers and parents should be afraid of that. I think we should embrace it, and I think this is a great opportunity for them to showcase their knowledge and their learning. It's great.
We've got some iPads and we're using them to control these robots that we've been building, and we can program the robots to move around, hiss, bite things, etc. And these robots, they're sort of prototype for animals, so in a way they're showing what might happen if animals are all extinct eventually and robots are only left in the world.
We're testing out a game called Lightbots, and we're doing some scratch projects. Practically, Lightbots is like a game where you give commands to this robot, and you need to colour up all the blue spaces. This light bulb makes the spaces glow up or turn off. There you go.
They've got all kinds of mind-blowing things going on here today. Our lot are using the Scratch programming, which is something which is well beyond what I used as a child. I'm from the BBC computer area where we used to do the binary coding, and they've now got the Scratch programming, which is a bit like fuzzy felting, programming to create all kinds of different things. You can see over here these guys have played a game that we've all been competing with each other on to try and race these little characters around a maze, which I'm not very good at. So, but the children have taught me a lot today.
It's showcasing the talent that is on the island, you know, a range of skills that we have, you know, in IT and what students can do, you know, when they're allowed to kind of push through and actually be creative with technology. Young kids have, you know, an amazing imagination, and when you expose them to technology, they're not limited by I can't do this, I can't do that. It's generally a how can I do this, or you know, what way can I do that, which pushes us as lecturers, you know, and teachers, but that's part of the fun of teaching this subject.
Our task was to make a game, and so this is my game. It's called Mr. Splash, and you have to basically get this fish to the finish. So you have to get him past. If you touch the black, then it makes him go back to the finish, and also it's quite hard. Also, if you touch the octopuses, it makes you go back to the beginning. It's really hard.
You can create loads of different things that you didn't really know you could do yourself. Like I'm using Google SketchUp to make like an enclosure for an animal cage. I never thought I could be able to do that because I'm not very good at drawing, but I can do it on here. And you can just learn about different things in a different way, really.
So what you do is, it's part of a project called Making Major, which is to extend this program called Scratch. So say you hold this, and then what you do is if I click the down arrow, it will make the Pac-Man there go down, because the electricity travels through my arm, across my body, down through my other arm, into the tin form, and back into the Making Major thing.
The important thing for an event like this is that it isn't just an educational device, it's about inspiration. And we have to get children aspiring to want something different, and this event offers them that opportunity. Kids are getting more and more involved earlier and earlier these days, so the primary schools are picking up. Children now pick up IT at such an early stage in their lives because their parents are involved in one way or another. So either it's through iPhones or Apple iPads or whatever it would be, and they're beginning to get the context of it much earlier.
The earlier we can get them, the easier they seem to adopt these new ideas and strategies and ways of thinking. What's been happening with industry in particular is a lot of schools have started to build up links. Now those links are becoming more obvious. At the beginning it was word of mouth, but with Digital Jersey getting involved, those links are becoming stronger and stronger. And we're finding now students that don't actually want to take the career path out to university first, they want to go straight into industry. Now the difficulty is they need their kind of portfolio work and they need to demonstrate. And these kind of projects are fantastic, and a lot of our students are putting them online, contacting businesses, saying here's my portfolio, here's what I've been able to do. And we've got a student now, Bowley, who's just walking, she's been told today in fact, she's going to go straight into a career at one of the companies over here, bypassing the usual route, going into something she really wants to do quickly.
I work quite closely with industry, so my colleagues within Careers Jersey, so they do require specific programming skills. So I think from an early age, if children can have an understanding and a concept of that, that will stand them in good stead for employment in future years to come.
This kind of thing is the future, and these kids are way beyond anything that we're even at, most adults. And you watch them in school, and the way they interact with technology is completely different to us.
It's exciting for them, they're engaged in it, they're motivated, but there are no barriers. The technology breaks down the barriers, they can see the problem, they can see how they want to fix it, and they use the technology to do that together.
Lots of things in the future will be to do with programming, so if we know how to program, then it makes it easier to make things and do things.
It's good because it also helps us get to know more about computers, so we can use computers better when we get older.
I think it's important because if we became older and technology will develop and stuff, and then we'll have a greater understanding on how to use new technology.
Later in life you can be very successful because you can program apps for other people to play.
The mutuality, the collegiality, these kids came in at dawn and swapped with each other. They're like, what are you doing? What are you trying? You see what they're doing over there? Hey, we've got to try that. That's been fabulous. And having run Be Very Afraid, China and Australia and America and everywhere, I can't remember seeing such a good, strong level of community. If Jersey's future depends on the ingenuity and the imagination of this lot, then Jersey doesn't need to be afraid. It's safe in their hands. If Jersey's future depends on getting the policies right to allow them to be as brave as they've been today, then we've got some work to do, haven't we? We've got to run, keep up with these guys, and that's the perfect point to end the day.